looking at residency permits, if you're looking for an EU residency permit for Cyprus are not quite in the Schengen zone yet, but it will be, we anticipate, by the middle of next year. But it is in the EU, so it gives you freedom of movement to live and work around the EU, and it will give you Schengen zone freedom of movement as well. So you can get a residency permit in Cyprus. A couple of conditions that you need to do. So for UK expats, they're not classed as non-EU. Cyprus gives them a slightly more sympathetic understanding, so there's a bit more flexibility. However, you need to be able to show that you can afford to live in the country. So whether you're after a 1-year visitor's visa, so you can have longer stays and more frequent stays in your overseas property, or with family, or for business reasons, then a visitor's visa requires you to open a Cyprus bank account, have at least 10,000 on deposit, maybe a bit more if you've got a spouse and children. You need to be able to show that you've got income coming in, or substantial asset savings. So the income that the Cypriots are looking for is around about 2,000 a month. That's for a person, with a bit extra, maybe 20% extra per spouse or child, to add on to that as an income to sustain yourself where you can afford that. The other thing that the Cypriots love you to have if you're an expat is repatriation insurance if you die. So there's legislation to allow crematorium, but you can't have crematorium at the moment, and the religious issues about non-Orthodox Christians being buried in Orthodox Christian graveyards, and so there's a limit of spaces, so that repatriation insurance is quite an important thing from a religious and cultural point of view for Cyprus expats. It's something that's required. So you get that resident permit for that. A UK expat can't necessarily work as a non-EU, but you potentially, if you've got a resident permit, you can then work remotely overseas, or work remotely while based in Cyprus, or you can work overseas from Cyprus, tax resident, or you can potentially even start a business. As a self-employed, that takes some discretion. You can create a company, and corporation tax is quite low in Cyprus, 12.5%, but that gives you another opportunity to be able to have a sort of a working permit in Cyprus, because you are creating the business. If you've got an overseas contract and you're in Cyprus as Cyprus tax resident, that's okay. You don't need a work permit for the overseas contract, it's just in Cyprus. So if you're coming to Cyprus for an employee work, you do need permission, so you need some specialist skill for that. So if you're an elephant trainer, the employer in Cyprus would have to advertise for local people with elephant training skills before they could employ an EU expat as an elephant trainer, ditto any other specific skills that they need. It does work, specific language skills, cultural skills, skills that are absent, work skills that are absent in Cyprus, can still be called for over in Cyprus. So it's not impossible to work here, but there is an extra hurdle to get that work permit over here, or create your own business after you've got your resident permit. For more information and guidance on relocation to get an EU residency permit in Cyprus as a basis of an EU residency living and working abroad, contact us at proactpartnership.com.